Jill Duggar revealed the heartbreaking details of the extreme stress she suffered after her brother Josh's scandal was exposed. Sisters Jill, Jessa, Ginge and Joanna sued the City of Springdale, police department employees and other defendants for invasion of privacy, claiming releasing their oldest brother Josh's accostation police report caused emotional distress. Jill, 31, and Jessa, 29, came forward as two of the 5 victims that were accosted in the family home in 2006, while Ginge, 28, and Joanna, 24, have not. The case was dismissed ahead of trial, as a judge ruled that the sisters failed to prove the released report caused emotional distress. The Sun can exclusively reveal from newly unsealed court papers the painful stress Jill and Jessa suffered when the report became public in 2015. In Jill's deposition taken on September 1, 2021, she was asked if she suffered physical injury as a result of the report's release. She explained, "The stress from it all caused me to be so stressed that, I almost thrown up a couple of times. And hair loss, and stress like that, those kinds of things." Jill, who is pregnant with her 3rd child with husband Derek Dillard, did not seek treatment for the physical symptoms, though she did see a therapist. She added of the beneficial therapy, "I believe it's good for anyone." Jill's sister Jessa also spoke of the aftermath of the report being released. Jessa said of negative emotions from the release of the report in her September 13, 2021 deposition, definitely faded. "It's kind of like you get injured and it bleeds and you bandage it. And you're never quite the same, but you do get a scar eventually." While she never received counseling or medical care, she did seek support from her husband, Ben Seawald. Jessa explained, "I mean, if you call my husband a counselor. I certainly have cried my heart out to him and stayed awake a lot of nights talking through things with him. But that's the extent of it." As The Sun previously reported, the court papers also included the preliminary psychological opinion on Jill. In the documents, Jill revealed her counselor noted she suffered from re-victimization and trauma following the release of the records. Jill continues weekly sessions with her husband. The opinion read of her current symptoms following the release of the records. On a regular basis, she feels emotionally overwhelmed and prone to tears. She actively strives to manage emotions, distract herself and not think about the ubiquitous triggers. She tries to bury it. The former Counting On star described her childhood as harmonious, happy and stimulating. She was close with her 18 siblings and had loving parents. The Duggars then experienced a family-wide crisis that included Josh being interviewed by police and being sent to residential treatment, and Jill disclosing the abuse to authorities. The release of the records in 2015 resulted in devastating consequences. As she said, "All hell broke loose." Jill said, "The trauma is hitting me again, harder than expected, and I anticipate being dragged through the mud again just in an effort to get justice." Jill, who is estranged from her dad, Jim Bob, and mom, Michelle, also elaborated on her relationship with her parents, as she longs to have a relationship with her father again. She said, "My husband and I have had to create some pretty strict boundaries right now to protect our sanity. We pretty much only see him right now at weddings and funerals. I think sometimes he wishes we would just get over it and go back to how things used to be, doing things his way." Continued that she wouldn't want to try to talk their issues out in a smaller setting, as there are too many triggers. For her mom Michelle, she explained she is hurting and wishes her husband Jim Bob would shut his mouth sometimes, while she sees her more than Jim Bob. She said it's still triggering and awkward. In her deposition taken September 1, 2021, she claimed her parents never went to therapy with her. She said the verbal abuse consisted of her father looking at her. The lawsuit's dismissal came just weeks before Josh was sentenced for CP. He was arrested for the crime in April 2021. Honorable Judge Timothy L. Brooks sentenced Josh to 151 months in prison on May 25. According to The Sun's court reporter, Josh appeared stoic as he received his sentence, which also includes $50,100 in fines. As he read his decision, the judge called Josh's crimes the sickest of the sick to the packed courtroom. He then said to Josh, "You have done some very bad things. But in your life as a whole, you've done good things. The true test of a man's character is what a man does when no one is watching. Referring to Josh's insistence that he's innocent, the judge continued, "I find it aggravating about the lack of responsibility." Judge Brooks recommended Josh participate in the Bureau of Prisons Sex Offender Treatment Program. In the accostation police report, Jim Bob told authorities his son was sent to a Christian counseling program where he did manual labor and had counseling. Prosecutors fought for a 20-year sentence on the CP charges, as they feared Josh would not get the proper counseling and would reoffend again. Josh remains in Washington County Jail in Arkansas while he waits to be transferred to federal prison.